What's up, everybody? CmdrAF here. I am in the driver's seat of the M113, getting ready to drive. This is lesson 2 of our Tank 101 series, and don't think I forgot about him. The Chieftain is up above me. Say hi. Say hi, Chieftain.
Hi, Chieftain.
And he's gonna give me all the instructions I need to get this bad boy powered on and moving. All right, Chieftain, where should we start?
Well, let's familiarize yourself with the controls first. So we'll start at the left and work our way to the right. All right, the master power you saw earlier, that controls the electricity that circulates through the vehicle. So it literally is the master power. When it's off, everything is dead. Okay, as you come up to the instrument panel, this should be fairly self-explanatory, most of the controls and instruments. At the bottom left, you got the bilge pumps. Well, we're not going through any deep water, so we need not worry about that. Above that are your headlights. Again, we don't need to worry about them because we're not driving at night.
No water driving, no night driving.
Yep, and the same with the infrared. That's the power for the infrared night vision that you had on the left. All right, so there's a big red push to start button. Don't push the big red button yet. Sorry.
Are you sure?
You can probably figure out what all the other dials do.
They are labeled. Bilge pumps on, rear. And then what's this? RPM. We got battery. Hopefully it's in good shape. We got the temperature. We got our gas fuel gauge here. And then miles per hour again.
Yep. So, I mean, it's like your typical car dash. So those are all fairly self-explanatory. As I said, you got your emergency things up here.
Differential oil, transmission oil, engine oil, horn. Doesn't work.
Yeah,
and
sorry.
Another headlight thing.
Yep. Right, so the actual steering controls. You'll see, how many pedals have you?
We've got one pedal.
One pedal! And that is your accelerator.
Okay.
So there are 4 steering tillers, or levers, but you'll only use 2 of them. So the 2 that you will be using are the 2 that you're holding.
Yes.
They are both your brake and your steering. To steer, you simply hold back the brake on the side that you want to turn to.
Okay.
Back both at the same time, you come to a stop.
Got it.
And that is your brake. Is there a little plunger at the top for the parking brake?
Yes, there is.
So you pull that all the way back, you push the plunger, and that sets your parking brake. The gear transmission is to your right. Again, this is an automatic gearbox. There you go. All you'll do is, there are different ranges for off-road driving. We'll just set it in one range and leave it alone, or reverse as necessary. And then when you're done driving, the fuel cutoff is that.
Okay.
You pull that out and it starves the diesel of its fuel. So if all else fails and you have no idea what you're doing or where you're going, pull that handle, the engine will shut down on its own and you'll be good.
Okay.
Now, there are 2 ways you can be taught to drive this. One option is, if you look to the right, it has, again, instructions.
Yes.
How to start the engine and so on. Or, and this is kind of required, because this is a privately owned M113, and there's all sorts of liability issues and so on, I am actually going to get out of the way and let an official museum qualified instructor take you the rest of the way. So let's swap out and I'll leave you to Scott.
All right. Thanks, Chieftain. Scott, where are you? Hey, everyone. Okay, so I'm here with Scott from the Ontario Regiment Museum. He is our designated instructor. He is going to teach me how to start and drive this M113. Are you ready?
Always ready.
Okay, so where do we literally start?
Well, I know the Chieftain went over the controls with you a bit, but let's just cover them off again. Obviously, your instrument cluster is right here. Mm-hmm. 2 big ones we're going to be keeping an eye on are tachometer and speedometer. For the course of today's training, let's keep it under 10 miles per hour. So that's
slow.
Yes, slow and steady for this one. These tillers are your brakes and how you steer.
Right.
So when you pull both, you're braking both tracks and coming to a stop. When you want to turn left, you grab the left tiller and pull it, which applies brakes to the left side, causing the vehicle to turn. The left track slows down, vehicle turns to the left.
Yes.
Same with the right. You pull the right lever and you turn to the right. It is a fully automatic transmission, and the gear selector does go through, first gear, 1, 2, 1 through 3, 2, 3. On this terrain we're in, we'll just be fine in 2, 3s. Once we're started, we're going to close the ramp.
Okay.
Which, at that point, we're just going to open up the dogs, which cleated at the rear, and then move the handle to the up position and close up the ramp, lock the dogs back in place, and then that'll be ready to go.
Well, I opened it. Let's see if I can close it, and then let's get this puppy purring and on our way. Oh my gosh, what a ride! My first time out there. Yes.
It's also surprisingly easy.
Well, with an instructor like you, of course.
And Scott, of course. But, okay, so that's
wait, how did I do? How did I do?
You did well. You did well.
Okay,
You actually did well. So that's the basic stand. Let's go on to slightly more advanced techniques.
Okay.
So, for example, as you can see, I have laid out some traffic cones.
Yeah.
Which fortunately I have expensed. So they're not coming out of my pocket. And your object is going to be to come down, start slaloming through the traffic cones, and then finishing up between those two. And to give you a demonstration of the standard to be expected, I've asked Scott to give us a show.
Over there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, come on, Scott, let's see what you got. Let's get out of the way. That's how you drive an M113.
Okay.
Off you go.
I got this. So we have the warm-up in the books, we have the obstacle course. How do you think I did?
You did very well, actually. I mean, you did. This was the first time you've ever driven a track today.
It is. This is my first tank.
PC.
PC.
Okay, but in that case, you did very well.
Thank you. And now, if you had to give me a letter grade, where would it be?
I
was a straight A student.
I would ordinarily give you an A, but you didn't really get up to the instructors or the demonstrator's speed, so you were probably a B+. But don't be ashamed of that. He's a good driver. You did very well for your first run.
I'll take the B+, but I will say that was not in the brief. It was not a race. I was just told not to hit the ground.
Yeah, but you're supposed to be aggressive in it. You're an armored vehicle operator. You're supposed to have a little bit of aggression. Actually, it brings up another point.
Okay.
You have more functions as a driver than just driving. because you've also got a set of eyes. You're scanning for enemy because there's only 2 of you permanently attached to the vehicle. It doubles the chances of not getting killed. And the other thing you're doing is you're scanning the terrain so that if something does happen, the commander just, as soon as he says action front, he doesn't need to give you any further instructions. You know where you're going, such as this terrain here. There's a ramp to the left, there's flat straight on. You're going to take cover behind the hill. And as an action front, you immediately know where you're going.
Always have that escape
So
plan.
it is more complicated than just driving. But regardless, for a first timer, you did well.
Well, that's great to hear. Chieftain, you've been a wonderful instructor, but the lessons are not over yet. Lesson 2 may be in the books, but lesson 3 is just coming up. So make sure you stay subscribed to our channel, because in lesson 3, we're going to be learning loading and gunning. Okay. Driving is in the bag. Join me next week for a lesson in loading where the Chieftain teaches me how to keep all my fingers. To tune in, subscribe below.